How are you today?
I'm well, thank you.
Perfect. I would like you to please introduce yourself and what you do here at the center.
My name is Karen Nichols. I am a cancer patient. I also volunteer here at WellSpring and have since the day we opened. And it's such an honor to be part of this, but to be involved in a place as fantastic as WellSpring. I also volunteer at the hospital on behalf of WellSpring. I go in and I speak to receiving their chemotherapy, because a lot of times they're not aware that WellSpring exists, first of all, and also that all the programming that we offer is free of charge. So it's important that we're in the community with talking to people to let them know that we're there, invite them to come, give them the programs that we offer, but also to offer peer support. A lot of times some people are very frightened when they're having their chemotherapy, and a lot of times the caregiver is the one that's frightened, that's really struggling with dealing with their loved one's cancer diagnosis. So it's important to let them know that a place like WellSpring exists, that we have programs that specifically deal with all the emotions that go along with a cancer diagnosis. I can tell you myself, when you hear the words, you have cancer, your whole world stops, and then it shifts. And you start looking at life very, very differently. I just know myself, I remember when I've had 3 different types of chemo personally, so I've relapsed 3 different times. And I remember the first time going through IV chemo, my children said, I almost made it sound like fun. And I said, that always stayed with me, because having chemo is not fun. It's life-saving, of course, but a place like WellSpring is so important because there's thoughts and fears that you don't want to share with your family. You don't want to frighten them, but you need to express those. And a place like WellSpring is the perfect place because everyone here understands what going through cancer is all about. Well, I remember the first time I went to WellSpring, our Brampton location wasn't here. We have 6 in Ontario, and there's 2 in Alberta today, 2019. So I used to drive a half hour to Oakville, to the Oakville site. Never been to a support group in my life, had no idea what to expect. But I remember sitting in the parking lot and being really nervous. And when I went in, it was the front desk volunteer that made me feel right at home and just offered me a cup of coffee, which for anybody, that's the key to my heart. And just to come in, to sit down in a support group and talk to people. I hadn't planned to say a word, but to listen. I was at the very beginning of my cancer journey, talking to people and hearing them talk about, I'm 5 years past chemo, I'm 10 years, I'm 15 years, to me was so empowering and such a wonderful feeling to hear that. But it was also the place to listen to people's fears and emotions that were attached, which to me is such a humbling, heartfelt gift that I love. So when we heard that WellSpring was thinking of coming to Brampton, jumped on board. We were the first volunteers. My friend Donna and I were the first 2 sitting at the front desk with a portable folding card table, ready to welcome anybody through the doors. Yeah, it's incredible. So my role here at WellSpring in Brampton, I am a front desk volunteer. And seeing people come in, you see the fear, you see the apprehension. People coming in and just saying, I actually had somebody a couple of weeks ago that just came in and said, I've hit rock bottom. And it was to share that with a complete stranger, to me it's just such an honor. And to be able to hug that person and say, then you've just given yourself the greatest gift to come here. The programming that they offer here, different coping strategies, relaxation techniques. We have oncologists that come in and speak to us at different times. The programming changes each month. We have an exercise program that's been designed specifically for cancer patients, and that's the only program that you need your doctor's permission for. And once they give that permission to say that you're well enough to participate, we set up an appointment with one of our trainers who are physiotherapists that have been specifically trained in dealing with cancer patients. And what I loved about the program is you talk about your whole health, not just your cancer health, because cancer isn't who you are. Cancer is what you're dealing with right now. And once they developed they'll set up a program. So my program would be different than your program. It's an hour twice a week for 20 weeks. They do cardio, they do strength training. I have really crappy knees, and I can tell you from taking the exercise program, they stopped hurting, which was incredible. People also, the types of specialized programming we offer, like money matters. So a lot of times with a cancer diagnosis, you're overwhelmed anyway, but then you have disability forms, you've got all these government forms, you've got all these insurance forms. And a lot of time, you shouldn't have to worry about money at a time like that. And unfortunately, not all chemo drugs are covered. I've recently been on a drug that I take, and thankfully I've got private coverage, but it was $10,000 a month. And I can promise you I would never have been able to afford that without having the government, or without having the private coverage. But we have financial experts that take the time and sit confidentially with you, and they go through everything, and they can point out different things that are available in the community that can help with financial aid and help you navigate through all those forms. And it's free, and everything is confidential and free here. It's just such
It's easier for somebody to just pick up the phone.
Absolutely.
I want to know, how do I get in here? What do you offer? At least they know they have somebody they can speak to.
Absolutely. It's 905-792-6480. A front desk, there's always someone here that will answer the phone. If you do go to the website, it's very easy to become a member. So to access anything at WellSpring, you need to become a member. It costs nothing to become a member, and we share the list with no one. We're very conscious of confidentiality. But if you go online, you'll see to become a member, you click on it, and it just takes you through. Once you've signed up as a member, you can access any of the programming that we offer here at the center.